What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the No Cell Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jeremy, and I'm here with Billy.
I'm here. We're making another podcast again.
It's been a while, dude.
No, it hasn't.
It's
We're just picking up right where we left off.
okay.
Yeah. A
So
lot of wrestling's happened. All the crowds went away.
Yeah.
And,
quarantine hit. We
uh,
had a WrestleMania with nobody in attendance.
it finally dawned on me that John Cena's like gone.
Yeah.
He's never coming back.
Yeah, he seems to be pretty much done with wrestling.
He's with Dwayne. I thought we had like one more run in a retirement angle. No, I'm convinced he's gone.
Nope.
Yeah, no, he's gone.
Roman Reigns is a heel.
Impact is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yo, WWE fired hella people between the last time we podcasted.
Yeah.
Bro.
But yeah, so I mean, this was a pretty good week to come back. It was a lot of wrestling this week. We have
Oh my god.
your weekly Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, TNA. TNA had their Bound for Glory, which is their biggest pay-per-view of the year.
I swear I didn't think Bound for Glory was their biggest pay-per-view, but I guess it is.
Yeah, it's always been their WrestleMania.
Slammiversary makes more sense as like the big show as a name.
Yeah.
But yeah. There was Bound for Glory. That happened yesterday.
Yep. When we're recording this on Sunday, the day of Hell in a Cell. So.
Let's do some math real quick.
Okay.
3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3. Add those numbers together.
That was a lot of numbers.
Okay. Hold on. We got 2 pay-per-views, 6. Raw is 3 hours, 9. SmackDown's 2 hours. AEW and NXT are 2 hours, 6.
17.
6 plus 9.
Oh, no. No, that's 15.
15. It's 17 because Impact's also 2 hours.
Jeez.
There was 17 hours of wrestling that I didn't really go out of my way to watch and watched most of live this week.
I'll probably watch a good 9 or 10 of it.
Hell in a
which
Cell
is-
is coming up tonight.
Yep. So,
Yeah, a lot of wrestling.
yeah.
As always.
But we're here to review the weekly stuff and Bound for Glory. So you want to get into it?
Yeah, what do you want to start with weekly?
I mean, it's up to you. You can do unless something stood out. I was just gonna go down the line.
Yeah, Raw is like a natural starting point, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Your week of wrestling gets better as it goes on.
it really is.
It's weird, yeah, but we can start with Raw.
Okay.
I have a lot of notes. The first sentence of my notes is in bold, and it says that the new NF intro song is highly aggressive. Yeah. They got a new theme song.
Yeah,
It's rap music. That's new for WWE.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I have a lot of notes, so you should just read yours off, and I'll chime in with what I've actually cared about.
okay. So the show opened with Fiend's music hits, and Alexa Bliss was in the ring, and she says he's here in this like super happy jolly voice, and then goes full demonic and says, "Let him in."
She's the Fiend now.
Yeah. So,
I don't like the Fiend.
oh, I love him, but
Just out of principle, I don't like that he's involved in title matches and things like that because he's a character that you can't beat.
yeah,
And I'm never going to want to go back and watch a Fiend match ever.
yeah, his matches aren't booked
He's
well,
not-
but
yeah.
his character is amazing.
The character's great, but it's just you're booked into a corner with him. You can't have him lose.
Yep.
He literally just shows up, does his finish, and leaves.
Pretty much.
Which,
So-
I mean, if I'm wrestling, you should sign me up. Let me be the Fiend.
So Bray's match music hits, which is the remix of his old team, which is an absolute banger, by the way.
Oh, yeah, he does walk out. He
Yep.
came out normally.
So Fiend walks in. Him and Alexa are holding hands.
I
Go ahead.
I liked how so I miss fans, but I liked how the lights turned off and the Thunderdome turned off, like the fan wall turned off. It just
Yeah.
added to the Fiend like taking everything over.
Yeah.
I like how that happens, and I liked how when Retribution would come out, they'd turn the fans off and make it like an extra Titantron.
Yeah.
There's just some
So-
small production elements that they can do now that they couldn't before that I've liked.
Yeah, they've for all things considered, the Thunderdome is running pretty well.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a nice wrestling environment.
So Retribution music hits as Alexa and Fiend are just standing in the ring, and they surround the ring and are just like hitting the ring and like screaming and yelling. They all get up to the apron, get in the ring, and they're just like circling the Fiend, and they haven't moved yet. Then the lights go out. Fiend and Alexa disappear, and Ollie and the rest of Retribution are like, "What the fuck?" The Hurt Business music hits. They pull up. A brawl ensues. Turns into an 8-man tag match.
Tag match, yay!
Yeah, which we'll find out later in the show is a theme with WWE this week.
Oh yeah, that's kind of their thing. Promo, brawl, tag match.
So I don't have many notes for this match. One of my notes is that they have one of the gimmicks in Retribution is named Slapjack, and he wears a Jason mask.
Oh, actually, I think it was Cedric Alexander knocked, I forget which one of the Retribution guys out in the corner. Like, he knocked him out cold. And
Oh,
I noticed that. Yeah, it was like...
Jeez.
Which, that's another theme of wrestling this week.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he, like, caught him clean with an elbow or a punch or something, and he went out, and the two members of Retribution immediately went over to the corner and started smacking the ground to try to wake him up, which was, like, pretty solid improvising on their part.
Yeah.
And they got him
There's
out
not
of
much.
there. They did a pretty decent job dealing with the concussion, but it was a rough look.
Yeah. So the finish of the match, the Fiend appears on the screen, distracts Retribution. Lashley wins with the Hurt Lock, I think is what it's
Wait.
called.
Oh, yeah, but you skipped. There was a Matt Riddle vignette between the brawl and the match for some reason.
Okay, I didn't
It
catch
was
that.
explaining who he is and how he's a bro. I don't know. Matt Riddle's an interesting character.
Yeah.
But I don't get this placement of a Matt Riddle vignette there.
That is really weird. Yeah, I missed
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, anyways, yeah, we had that match.
Then-
Slapjack. Oh, yes, it was Slapjack that was getting beaten around, and he caught an elbow. And then Mason T-Bar went over and distracted Cedric long enough to get him out of the match. The two factions faced off on the outside, and then the Fiend Screech played. That's what happened, right?
Yep. And then
Yeah.
Lashley won with the Hurt Lock.
Full Nelson.
And then the Fiend returned to the ring. Sister Abigail'd everyone. And because the Retribution was just throwing themselves at the Fiend to try to protect Ali.
One at a time.
Yep. As heel factions always do in WWE.
Yes, this made them look so bad. Everything
Yeah.
that happened. I don't get the point of A, drafting Retribution, but B, putting them and Hurt Business on the same brand at the same time.
Yeah, it is.
There's only
I mean,
so much space for a dominant faction.
they'll probably have a big like Survivor Series feud.
Yeah, but that could have been one on Raw, one on SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point.
Are you going to make them team up? Two Retribution, two Hurt Businesses versus SmackDown?
So, yep, the Fiend, Sister Abigail, is a mandible clawing all of Retribution, and then just stares at the Hurt Business. Alexa appears on the screen and says, in her super deep voice again, "Let me in."
I like that they added her to the Fiend to keep the character fresh.
Yeah,
I'm laughing at it, but it's
Yeah.
something, yeah.
it's really cool. So
I'll
then
talk-
we
I
had...
have a note about her for when they do Firefly Funhouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
So afterwards we had AJ Styles versus Matt Riddle.
Yeah. AJ Styles' bodyguard.
Yo, I don't know his name.
His name was Jordan something. That man is a mountain.
Okay, I just said he's a very large man.
He is so big.
That's what he's referred to in my notes.
That's a very big show.
So AJ comes out with this very large man, starts cutting a promo about how he's gonna beat Matt Riddle like he's beaten Jeff Hardy and all the other mid-carders.
Bro, the big man Jordan was just standing in the ring,
Yeah,
and the ref
just
was like,
standing
"I'm gonna
behind
DQ you."
Just looking all serious.
He was counting the DQ Jordan, and Jordan just grabbed his arm, and the ref was like, "Yo, my bad."
So, Riddle, in the middle of the promo, interrupts him. Like Billy said,
I need to take better notes.
AJ is just standing behind the big man, and the ref goes, "If he doesn't leave the ring, you're going to be disqualified." And AJ's like, "Oh, really? I'm going to be disqualified?" So he starts to count. He counts to 1. Big man grabs the ref's hand, puts it back down, and the ref was like, "You're right. I'm just going to shut up."
Isn't him grabbing the ref even more grounds for disqualifying?
Yeah, but are you going to disqualify that man?
It's your job.
So he eventually leaves the ring. The match happens. I noticed, bro, Matt Riddle is strong, dude.
He is, yeah.
Like, he was deadlifting AJ and doing, like...
oh, yeah.
I think they're called Tiger Bombs. I don't know what...
Gut wrench power bombs and stuff.
Yeah, basically.
Matt Riddle's
But,
ridiculous. I've noticed that since he was facing Cassius Ohno for his NXT debut. Dude is insane as a wrestler.
Yeah.
And he's got a pretty, notable character.
Yep.
It's just outside of WWE things that are my concern with him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another theme with WWE right now.
Yeah.
They're the only company that hasn't gotten rid of people like that.
They can't get out of their way.
Other than poor Jack Gallagher.
Yeah.
The one casualty from all of that.
So, at one point in the match, AJ's outside of the ring, just, standing, leaning against the steel steps. Matt Riddle's on the apron and goes to run, and I was assuming doing, a drop kick or something. And the big dude just gets in the way.
Oh, yeah.
Causing Riddle to fall and hit the apron.
The big dude's such a good gimmick for AJ.
So the finish for the match was Riddle was climbing to the top turnbuckle. AJ hits the ropes, causing Riddle to fall, and then throws him off. The big man distracts Riddle as he's getting back into the ring. AJ hits the Styles Clash, wins the match.
That was an AJ Styles Matt Riddle match, which was pretty good. They've had a lot of matches lately, I'm pretty sure, because they were both on SmackDown. Yeah.
They work well together, and AJ's new manager was entertaining. So.
Yeah, his new manager, Bodyguard, is phenomenal. I'm excited about Big Guy.
Yeah.
After this was, Lana and Asuka had a pretty short match.
Yeah. My literal notes. This is my shortest notes of the card. Why is this a match? Asuka wins on the Asuka lock. Match was longer than it needed to be.
It wasn't that long. I had no issue with it. Lana was better than I thought she'd be.
Yeah, she was decent.
Yeah, she held her own. It was better than 2010 Divas matches.
Yeah.
Which that was the standard I was holding Lana Asuka to, which isn't fair because I think Asuka could have a great match with a broom.
Yeah, very good point. Nia and Shayna Baszler come out.
Back to the Lana match, though. I'll give her the build. There was some pretty amusing, not on television bits, on Miro's. I think it was a Snapchat or something. He was eating pizza, and he's like, "Do you want some?" And she's like, "I'm training." And there were just little short things like that. She was taking this seriously. It was pretty funny.
Okay. That's cool.
Anyways, yeah, it was cool to see. Anyways, so the next match was it a 4-way tag match?
Yeah. Okay. But to lead up to that, Nia and Shayna come out.
Yeah.
Nia puts Shayna through a table for what I've learned was the 5th week in a row. I mean, puts Lana through the table.
Yeah. I like that gimmick.
And then they go to double team on Asuka, and Asuka escapes the ring. So Shayna and Nia cut a promo about how basically they're the best tag team in WWE, Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. Nobody can beat them.
They are the champs.
then which causes
Whole women's
fatal
tag
four-way
division to
eight-man
come
tag,
out.
8-woman tag match. Mandy and Dana come out. Lacey and Peyton Royce, and Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan.
So I have a lot of issues. First, I hate these matches, these like big convoluted tag matches.
Yes, they're stupid.
WWE ran one, Impact ran one, AEW ran one. I hate all of them. Also, I hate the Peyton Royce, Lacey Evans tag team.
Yeah.
We split up the Iconics for two blondes to fight over
Yes.
the spotlight. And I like both of those two individually. Honestly, the Women's Right is a pretty great finisher name, and it's a pretty solid finisher.
Yeah, I've
She
always loved
throws
Lacey.
it really well.
Yeah. When she first came in WWE as a heel, I loved her work as a heel.
She doesn't even need to be a heel, though. She's a mother and a former Marine, and that was
Yeah,
pretty over
she could
for
easily
a
get
while.
over his face too.
Yeah, and she's actually pretty entertaining. It's just like, why is this tag team a thing? I don't know. It could be pretty funny. Like their entrance where they were tripping over each other was pretty amusing.
Yep.
But the Iconics were just, they didn't need to split up.
They were amazing as a group.
Speaking of the Women's Right, that was one of the best spots in the Money in the Bank ladder match where I think it was Carmella just rounded a corner and caught
yeah.
I think that's what sold me on it. But yeah, we had this big convoluted tag match for the titles.
Yep.
My notes, we split up the Iconics for Peyton to team with Lacey Evans. They're fighting over who gets to be in front of the camera. There's a ton of dives in a commercial. Post-knee surgery, Nia Jax can't move anymore. Lacey threw a stiff Women's Right. Shayna choked out Ruby Riott. Nia tagged in off Riott and pinned Dana Brooke to retain.
That's
the match.
That was more notes than me.
That's the match.
Yeah.
I'd have to condense my notes a lot.
It's all good.
I wish I had a word count. But yeah, Nia Jax, I mean, there's only so much you can do when you've had double ACL surgery, and I'm pretty sure that's not her first knee surgeries.
Eesh.
Yeah, that's rough. When I read that's what was happening, but she's just not, she doesn't do big very well,
Yep.
and she doesn't move. She's like female Great Khali during his
Yeah.
WWE run. Have you ever seen the
That's a good
gif of
point.
him jumping over the top rope?
No.
It's the most insane thing I've ever seen. Man's on the apron and he jumps over the top rope into the ring.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, yeah, we had that match, and then Elias had a band.
Yeah, he had a concert.
I skipped it till the end, and then Jeff Hardy was going crazy.
Yeah. So he's putting over his
album?
debut album, Universal Truth, which I think comes out at some point next week. I think next Monday.
It does. That's a Kyrie album.
And so he sang a couple songs from it. Started with a song called Amen, which actually wasn't too bad. Then afterwards had a song called Lead Me Home, which started with a bunch of fireworks, sparklers, and pyro for the song.
Wow.
Yeah. Which also, not a bad song. I don't hate it, but definitely not something I'm going to be listening to.
Elias's album release party had more entrance budget than the entire Bound for Glory pay-per-view.
Pretty much. So he plays 2 songs and starts going to leave, and the pumped-in crowd noise is chanting for an encore. So he gets back to the mic and says he's not one to disappoint, but can't find his guitar.
Oh,
And this dude has his back to Elias, his
he
hoodie
went
up,
crazy.
and just hits this really insane guitar riff, which I don't know if Jeff actually did it or not. But
I don't know.
wouldn't be
He has
surprised.
he has an album out.
Okay, so
yeah, Jeff
it might
Hardy
have-
actually
that's
has
probably it.
music.
So hits this huge guitar riff, then turns around, drops the hood, reveals to Elias it's Jeff, and then swings his guitar at Elias and misses.
Oh, that's kind of what I wrote. I wrote that Jeff was playing guitar the whole time, and after the show, he went into business for himself and it annoyed Mr. Eli.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So after that, we had
Tucker is finding a partner to beat up on Miz and Morrison.
yep.
This has been a good story that's built. I don't like that it's on Raw and SmackDown, but
Yeah.
I mean, more on that on SmackDown.
Then we had Kofi versus Sheamus, which
Yeah, Kofi said that New Day is spreading their seed across both brands. Biggie was shirtless on camera on the Thunderdome.
which was amazing.
Yeah.
Which his camera quality was kind of bad.
I don't think you can get good camera quality on the Thunderdome wall.
Yeah, that's fair. None of the
None
gimmicks
of the
that have been
fans have
virtual
anything,
fans have had good.
Mark Henry was also there.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, Sheamus hit a nasty Alabama slam. I noted that's one of the moves that I kind of miss. That doesn't happen that much anymore.
Yeah,
It looks great.
Yep.
I could believe it as a finish, honestly.
Yeah. I don't think it was our finish, but I know Nikki Bella used to use it.
Cody used to use it as like a signature.
Oh, nice.
I think he still does actually, but it just doesn't come out as much as it used to.
Yeah.
What was the finish to this match?
Kofi won. I don't remember what the setup was, but Kofi won on Trouble in Paradise.
Okay, yeah, I remember Kofi won. I just didn't know anything after the Alabama Slam. Retribution's the hacker. Titus wants to join Hurt Business, and Hurt Business doesn't want to go worldwide. Man, they could have gone worldwide. He has connections.
Dude,
I wrote Hurt Business does not want to go worldwide. That's a shame.
bro. MVP was like, we need to talk it over real quick. He's like, okay, yeah, take all the time you need. They just look at each other for like 3 seconds. He's like, all right, we've talked it over. He's like, damn, y'all were fast. Y'all work just like me.
And then he was like, we'd like to go in business.
Yeah.
Shook his hand and was like, we, and looked at the Hurt Business, and then they jumped poor Titus. I mean, Hurt Business is cool. They look a lot better than Hacker Retribution. We'll see what happens with them.
Yeah. So, after that was Miz and Morrison versus Tucker and his mystery partner.
El Gran Gordino.
Which, I don't remember what the line was exactly, but Tucker comes out, he's announcing his partner, and
he said he scoured the globe.
Yeah, he scoured the globe, and Sean Morrison goes, we just talked to you 30 minutes ago, how did you scour the globe?
Yeah, he scoured the globe, and we got El Gran Gordino, and the Miz is like, that's clearly Otis in a pink mask. And the line that really pissed off El Gran Gordino is, you could put a mask on a pig, it's still a pig. And he charged. I forget who it was. Someone tweeted, apparently Deonna Purrazzo wrestled as a masked luchador women's wrestler in NXT briefly, and it was the same mask.
Oh my god.
Which was even funnier. But yeah, we got... Alright, Jake. We got El Gran Gordino and Tucker versus... Oh, Miz said Otis ate Lucha House Party.
Oh, shit.
Miz is one of the best promos in wrestling still to this day. I was arguing with you about it in the group chat. Him and Dolph Ziggler are two of the best in the world at getting other people over, and it's super unfortunate for their stars.
Yeah.
The Miz was great, and then Otis came in, and didn't he do like a springboardy thing off the corner? So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, El Gran Gordino went crazy.
Yep. So, in the middle of the match, R-Truth ran through the middle of the ring.
Yeah, to run away from the 24/7 crowd.
Yep. And then the finish was, Gran Gordino brought Miz over to, I think it was Miz, into the corner, and did the typical like big man jump off the top rope splash. And that was the finish.
Yeah.
Afterwards,
we reunited with Mandy, who gave him ham, and Tucker, and who else was there?
was it the New Day, or was that last?
Yeah, it was New Day.
Okay. Yep. And then after that, we had the Firefly Funhouse segment.
I also loved how I loved how commentary was selling Gran Gordino as not Otis.
Oh yeah.
It was just the Miz who saw through it. It was pretty good.
He's the only one that knew. So
Firefly Funhouse with I have 7 E's written there.
they introduced Alexa Bliss.
I think she should have been. I think she should be the. Did you watch her NXT stuff at all?
Yeah,
She was like a frozen Disney princess. I think that's how she should have like returned in the Firefly Funhouse, at least in the Funhouse. It would work in the Funhouse as the kid show host.
Okay. I didn't. I didn't start watching till her heel work.
Yeah, it was a bland babyface thing. She'd come out with glitter and like be a Disney princess type thing.
Okay.
I think she should have reverted back to that because it would have worked in the Funhouse. But I mean, she's Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's another layer to the Fiend character.
Which is kind of neat. You kind of need to keep layering his stuff so it doesn't get stale.
Yeah, I think. No, I think it gives a decent layer to his character, and it's somewhere where you can hurt him.
Yeah, that's true. It gives them a way out down the line if somebody wants to feud with him.
It gives you a way to make him a face in a feud, honestly.
Yeah.
After that, that was that was a match that happened. We had Keith Lee versus Braun Strowman.
That was the last match of the show.
In what is a battle of big fellas.
Yeah.
And it ended off a low blow.
It was a very, very stiff match.
Why are you ending that match on a low blow?
I don't know. I think it was a way to keep the feud going without making either guy look bad.
I guess, but both guys look bad.
Yeah. I didn't like the finish at all. It was
WWE does that a lot with that. Let's not make anybody look bad, so both guys look bad. Yeah.
So a lot of the match was just Keith Lee working Braun Strowman's injured ribs. He was gonna lift Braun up for what looked like a powerbomb. Braun low blowed him with the ref seeing it. And did he win off the big boot?
I don't remember what he won off of, but it was the low blow that ended it.
Yeah, I think it was. He low blowed him and then he hit a big boot. I think that's what he pinned him. And yeah, then after the match, Keith Lee hit Braun with a low blow. So.
Yeah. So after that, we had Randy sitting in the cell. And he was just.
I really like this.
I liked that promo. I liked how he was talking about he beat someone here, someone there. It was a cool promo. I'm liking what Randy Orton's doing now. That got me excited for that match, which I previously wasn't very excited for.
He said that he's always been told anyone who's been in a Hell in a Cell match, they always leave a piece of themselves behind. But in the 7 matches he's had, he's never left a piece behind. He's just understood what he's capable of more.
It was a pretty cool promo. And then Drew McIntyre came out, and Randy was like, "Come get me, ha ha ha!" And then Drew brought out these bolt cutters and cut into the cell. And then Raw ended without a brawl, which I mean, I kind of like that.
Yeah, it
builds some suspense. It's like how Raw used to go off the air in the middle of a brawl, and it's like, what's gonna happen next?
We were just talking about that.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid ending to Raw, but that show doesn't need 3 hours.
Yep. Yeah, there was a lot of filler.
Yeah. So, what'd you think of Raw?
It was pretty solid. I enjoyed it. This was my first time actually sitting down and watching a show in a long time. So
I like having something else to do Monday at 8, so I can skip through Raw and watch what I want to.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there's some pretty good stuff on there. It's just too long.
Yeah, 3 hours is rough, and it just doesn't. There's a lot of low spots in Raw.
There's a lot. There's an hour worth of content you could cut off. But on to that. Next up, Tuesday, we had what's becoming it's becoming one of my favorite shows in wrestling. We had Impact. This was the go-home show for Bound for Glory. They had a fatal 5-way match so Bound for Glory does a Call Your Shot gauntlet. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's a 20-person battle royal where the last 2, it just becomes a one-on-one match where the person has to pin the other person.
Okay.
and the winner gets to challenge for any title of their choosing.
Oh.
And so, not this episode, but the week before, we had a 5-on-5 tag match where the winning team from that match gets to have this fatal 5-way match where the winner of this match enters 20 and whoever gets pinned enters at 1. It was Heath versus Cousin Jake of the Deaners versus Hernandez versus this very small petite woman from Boston named Alicia versus Rhino.
Okay.
It was a pretty funny match, though. Throughout the whole match, if I remember it correctly, there was Alicia was like yelling at everyone, and Hernandez just picked her up like a child and sat her down on the top rope. And throughout the whole match, it was just people like trying not to hit her because they're all bigger, stronger, and she's tiny.
Yeah,
and
that's a bad look.
Yeah, the finish was I forget who he was trying to gore, but Rhino missed a gore, hit her, and Hernandez rolled him up. So Hernandez has 20, and Rhino comes in at 1. And there's a stipulation on the Call Your Shot gauntlet. Heath doesn't have an Impact contract to this point. And Heath, he brought basically, I guess it was his WWE contract to Scott D'Amore, and he's like, we can't pay you that. We don't have that much money. And he's like, man, I got kids. And so he's like, I'm not taking this. I'm not working for Impact. Rhino works out where he'll get his contract that he wrote if either him or Rhino wins the Call Your Shot gauntlet. But if neither of them win, both of them are not working for Impact.
Jesus. So Rhino's going to win.
Yeah, Rhino did. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to Bound for Glory. Because that match, Heath actually got hurt. And it didn't look good. I think I sent you the clip, did I?
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
He got hurt, which sucks. By the way, you know what Heath's actual real-life name is?
No.
Heath Miller.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, which confuses me when I read someone call him Heath Miller. Because I'm like, no, I don't think he could still go.
Yeah.
Man, like, had knee surgery and wasn't a good football player after that point. But, anyways, we... So there's the wedding between Rosemary and Johnny Bravo is happening this upcoming Tuesday on Impact.
Jesus.
They had a backstage segment. Impact is hilarious. They really embrace all the comedy segments they can put into wrestling. And I think they benefit the most from not having fans because it helps create like a studio TV environment. Impact at times feels like a sitcom.
Gotcha.
They had a backstage segment where Johnny Bravo was like flipping out about how the wedding's not going to get done. Crazy Steve has like a pet monkey thing, and while Johnny Bravo was freaking out, he was covering the monkey's ears. I forget who it was, but Johnny Bravo asks someone if they got a photographer for the wedding, and Tenille Dashwood and her personal photographer, Cody with a K, or Caleb with a K, came in. And they're like, yeah, we got a photographer, it's Caleb, and he's just there taking pictures of Tenille Dashwood.
Jesus.
Then we got a video promo of Deonna Purrazzo talking about how, like, the legacy of the Knockouts Championship, how important it is, how she has to live up to lofty expectations of champions before her, how Kylie Rae is too emotional to be a champion, and how she's going to take great pride snapping her arm. And, I mean, this feud, the way it's built up, it's felt to me, Deonna Purrazzo is just, like, doesn't necessarily... She thinks that Kylie Rae is a good wrestler, but she thinks she's too emotional, she's too bubbly to be a champion. Yeah. And she proved this by breaking Susie's arm right in front of Kylie Rae. And then Kylie Rae snapped and has been like, had this weird anger streak to her. Meanwhile, Kylie the whole time is like, yeah, Deonna Purrazzo is probably the best women's wrestler in the world. I can't wait to compete with her. I have a lot of respect for her, and I hope she respects me. So that's what the build felt like to me.
Yep.
And I was super excited for this match. It didn't happen. I don't know necessarily where Kylie Rae was, but there's been a few different reports. Some people have said injury. Some people just said that they don't know where she was. But she wasn't there on Bound for Glory, which really sucked.
Yep, and they had to call quite the audible.
Oh, it was an audible, all right, yeah. So, I mean... The rest of the rest of Impact was just build up to the pay-per-view for the most part. There was Sami Callihan versus Eddie Edwards because for some reason Sami Callihan has control over Ken Shamrock, and he's just been beating the shit out of Eddie Edwards backstage. It's been some hilarious segments because like Sami Callihan will be on his phone and Eddie Edwards will be like, "Why do you keep doing this?" And Sami will just go, "Ah!" And then there's Ken Shamrock and he puts Eddie Edwards in an ankle lock. It's been pretty amusing. After that, we had a 6-person tag match because at Bound for Glory there was a 6-person championship scramble between Willie Mack, Trey Miguel, TJP, Rohit Raju, Chris Bay, and Jordan Grace. Rohit Raju got pinned in the tag match. I don't remember much from the tag match. The match at Bound for Glory was phenomenal. The North versus the Good Brothers. So there's been Bound for Glory, there's a 4-way tag match. It's the North versus the Good Brothers versus Ace Austin and Madman Fulton versus the Motor City Machine Guns, and they've just been doing matches between all 4 of them through the all 4 of those teams to get to the pay-per-view. This is the last one that they hadn't done, and it was I was asleep. I fall asleep and haven't gotten back to watch this. It ended with a no contest.
Gotcha.
Which, I mean, it makes sense. I liked the week before they had Madman Fulton versus the big LG Doc Gallows. That match was sick. They just brawled, got counted out. Impact was like, nah, we're going to run this back as a no disqualification match. And they just beat the shit out of each other with chairs. And it's like 2 big dudes. It was cool. That was Impact. I mean, like I said, it's becoming my favorite show. This one was more vignette focused, which being the go home show, it makes sense. Yeah, no. Yeah. I'm liking Impact. I'm excited to see where they go, even if they were kind of shady with their pay-per-view.
Yeah.
They could have done a better job with that.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, you want to do Dynamite or NXT next?
We could do
Dynamite's the one I watched live. NXT I watched later that night.
We could do Dynamite.
Alrighty, we'll do Dynamite. Did you take notes for this?
Yes.
Okay, so you have it in order.
Yep. Okay. So the show started with was it 8-person?
It's an 8-person number 1 contenders tournament. Yes.
Yep. For the AEW World Championship.
Yeah.
And the first match of the tournament was Wardlow versus Jungle Boy.
That match was a pretty solid match. My biggest thing that I noted from it was like short. It was 10 minutes tops, and they didn't feel short.
Yeah. I really liked how Jungle Boy coming out to the ring looked like he was like scared shitless.
I would be.
Of Wardlow. I mean, yeah, that's a massive human being.
That being said, that'd be a dream match of mine to get tossed around by someone like Wardlow or Brock.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be fun.
Yeah, a lot of the early match was just Jungle Boy being able to escape Wardlow's grasp using his quickness. There was at one point Wardlow was on the outside. Jungle Boy jumped off the apron. Wardlow caught him in a powerbomb position and then slammed him into the ring post.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a good job of putting over that. Not MJF. Jungle Boy's quick, and Wardlow was a monster.
Yeah.
Jungle Boy didn't come out of this looking weak, but Wardlow came out of it looking strong, which was great.
Yeah, they got the result they needed. Jungle Boy hit a top rope Hurricane Rana, and then the finish was Wardlow hit an F10 on Jungle Boy from the outside of the ring back into the ring, and then picked him up and hit another F10 and then pinned him for the victory.
That's such a ridiculous sentence. He did an F10 from outside of the ring into the ring. Yeah. It was a pretty solid match. It was a good open, yeah.
Yeah. Afterwards, we had Sonny Kiss versus Kenny Omega in another quarterfinals. Number 1 contendership tournament match.
This was supposed to be Joey Janela versus Kenny Omega, but Joey Janela worked an indie show, and the guy he faced tested positive for COVID, so they pulled him from the card. In which Joey Janela, I believe, announced that he's retiring from doing indie shows for the time being. Which is reasonable.
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this match was very short.
Bro, Kenny's entrance.
Kenny has a
was
new entrance.
Final boss entrance.
Yep, he was it new theme music?
No, it just had an intro to his theme that wasn't there
Okay.
before.
Yeah, he had an intro. Josh Matthews was listing off all his accomplishments. He had 2 women out on the ramp with brooms, signaling back to his cleaner gimmick in the Indies. There was pyro. It went the whole 9 yards with his entrance. It was awesome. Like you said, it was a very Final Boss-esque feel.
And then he came in, hit a V-trigger, a
Yeah.
one-winged angel, and then pinned.
Yeah.
And Jim Cornette made a 16-minute video on it.
On a 30-second match.
If him doing the list of accomplishments is like a part of his entrance every single time, I need him to put that on his list of accomplishments.
So after
It
that,
accomplished what it needed to, which was make
Yeah.
Kenny a monster.
yep. I mean, Kenny Omega went over. He looked great, and then, like I told you afterwards, I feel like they just wanted to get out of that segment as a whole as quickly as possible.
I wanted him to just pin off of the V trigger. Honestly,
Yep.
I feel like that
It's all
would be
good, though.
cold. Yeah.
After that, we had my favorite match of the card: Penta versus Rey Fenix.
Oh,
Another quarterfinals match.
this was a really solid card.
Yeah.
Yeah, that match was good. You saw that. So Phoenix won that match, but
Yep.
Penta's moving on because Phoenix got hurt.
I did not see that.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston. They had Eddie Kingston, Penta, and Ray Phoenix backstage, and Eddie Kingston announced that in the thing like sometime later in the week.
Okay. Oh,
I
damn.
think he got hurt on the top rope Hurricane Rana spot.
There
where he
was,
landed on his
yeah,
head.
there was,
And then he slowed down noticeably, which was still faster
Yeah.
than most people wrestle.
yeah. Bleacher Report did make a comment saying that he like got his bell rung in the middle of the match.
It was a great match, though. It
Yep.
definitely was everything I expected. There was the story was that Penta didn't really want to hurt his brother, and
Yeah.
eventually he just got to a point where he did do the arm breaking spot.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, eventually, yeah. Family.
He
The title presumed over family.
he was doing chops on the outside of the ring into the
Bro.
post, and when he punched the post, oh my god!
When he whacked it, oh, that shit hurt my
shit
hands,
looked-
dude.
Yeah, bro. That match was fantastic. They did like that where I think it was Penta threw Ray Phoenix up in the air. He did a flip and landed into a power bomb.
Yep.
Shit was insane.
Yeah. They have some amazing ring chemistry together.
I mean, they're brothers, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said,
solo runs
there was
they're gonna go on are gonna be crazy.
yeah. There was Ray Phoenix hit a Spanish fly from the top rope, and then I don't know how to really describe it, but Ray Phoenix went on this Canadian destroyer that somehow set up into a Canadian destroyer that looked absolutely sick.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe most of what he does.
It was just an overall great matchup. Overall, if you haven't seen it yet, it's a treat.
Most
really
of this
need to.
Dynamite's worth watching as far as the
Yeah.
matches go. Yeah.
It was a really good wrestling card. Then after that, we had the last quarterfinals match.
Cabana
With,
and Hangman, yeah. Which
Colt
was
Cabana
also a
versus
good
Hangman
match.
Page.
I
What-
liked that it felt like Cabana knew his opponent during the match because
Yeah.
he would Hangman would set up for the buckshot and he'd just run right to the ropes so he couldn't pull
Yep.
it out. Yeah, it made
Yeah.
sense.
I noted that both. I haven't seen Hangman wrestle in a while. It'd been a while since I'd seen AEW, but Cabana and Hangman were both a lot more athletic than I initially thought.
Hangman I knew was a freak athlete, but Colt Cabana he could go.
He could still go. He Irish whipped Hangman into the ropes and then jumped over him, which I didn't think he could do.
But he's really good still.
Yeah.
He was a good pickup for them. I like that he's in the Dark Order. That's a different element to the Dark Order.
Yeah.
And the way they
Evil
treat-
Uno was
Yeah,
watching the match.
The way they treat him is different than how they treat the rest of the Dark Order. And I like
that's
that.
cool.
Yeah, Brody Lee treats not necessarily every member, but most of the members differently,
Yep.
and that's pretty cool.
So, Hangman eventually was able to connect with the Buckshot Lariat and picked up the victory. So, in the semifinals, we will have Hangman versus Wardlow, and then Kenny Omega versus Penta,
Yeah,
which should both be.
those are two matches I'm excited for. What if Kenny comes out and hits the V trigger and One Winged Angel again?
Oh my god! I mean, I'm super hyped for Kenny versus Penta.
Yeah, I was hyped for that side of the bracket the whole time. I would have been pissed if Joey Janela upset Kenny.
Yeah.
I would have been so mad.
So then next we had the Jericho and MJF dinner party.
Oh my god. It was a steak dinner to discuss MJF joining the Inner Circle, and that segment over-delivered.
Which I saw. I want to get your thoughts real quick. Read through Bleacher Report's notes. They wrote that if WWE tried to pull this off, people would absolutely destroy it.
Kinda. I mean, they pulled
Although
off Law and Otis.
I don't think
well.
WWE could execute it like this.
They wouldn't try to do anything like that. No, they wouldn't try to do a musical number, really.
Yeah.
That's so weird. They're two different companies. They do things
Yeah.
differently. WWE wouldn't really do a Stadium Stampede match.
Right.
Good point. AEW pushes things a lot farther than WWE would.
So, we're just sitting there at the table, drinking wine. Chris has a little bit of the bubbly bottle. And Velma, their waitress, comes over. And she goes, "Can I get y'all something to drink? I notice you're enjoying the red wine." Talking to MJF. And he goes, "That's a stretch. I've had better." So then MJF orders a porterhouse 20-ounce steak. Well done, with a baked potato on the side.
That's so much money. How much does a 20 porterhouse cost?
Oh yeah, it's probably insane. And then while he's doing that, Jericho responds back, says he wants a porterhouse steak, 20 ounces with a baked potato.
$389.95.
Jesus. But he wants his medium well.
Oh
So
God.
MJF is like shell shocked. Says, "Okay, scratch that. Change my order. Porterhouse steak, 20 ounces, cooked medium." Jericho responds back, wants his cooked medium rare. MJF goes rare.
Jericho gets a blue.
Jericho gets a blue steak.
I've never heard of that.
I've never heard someone. And then Jericho goes, "What are we doing?" It's like, you've been like pretty much a dick the entire day. He's like, "No, I haven't." He's like, "You've been rude to the car service, the waitress, yada yada yada." And eventually MJF, he's like, "They don't want to see me in the Inner Circle with you. They don't want Chris, the demo god, and myself, the ratings ruler, together." And Chris goes, "Come on, ratings ruler, we can come up with something better than that. Ratings ruler has just as much of a chance getting over as Orange Cassidy."
They both said it.
They started singing the song "Me and My Shadow," which actually wasn't bad. And I mean, they went all out with it. They were singing, dancing. They had girls, top hats.
There was a spot where they were like dipping girls, and then they both
Yeah.
dropped them.
They dropped the girls, and then they came back with hats.
I don't get why MJF wrestles.
He
could do so much other than wrestle and make
Yeah,
better
just
money
as an
and
entertainer,
not be
he
hurt
is.
as often. MJF genuinely is better than you.
Yeah.
It was such a good segment. MJF is wild because he barely ever wrestles, and like anytime he does anything is must see TV as far as wrestling goes. And he can wrestle. Like, him versus Jungle Boy, I forget which pay-per-view it was at, was one of my, like, 3 favorite matches on that card.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it and send you it. It was just a really well-done match. There was a spot in it, I remember, where he went off the top rope and he was selling, like, a knee injury, and it was how those freak knee injuries happen. The ref went over and, like, checked on him, and he went to signal for the X, and MJF went and kicked the shit out of Jungle Boy during it. It was just
nice.
a ton of good, like, it was just a really good match. He's genuinely really good at everything to do with wrestling. It's annoying.
Yeah. And then I didn't get notes for the last 2 segments.
Oh, would that be Britt Baker and the Fatal 4-Way match?
Yep.
Britt Baker had this really pink attire. She came in, was back, had a match, won it against Kylan King. It was a pretty decent match. Britt Baker put the lockjaw in and won. New wrinkle to the lockjaw. She has Rebel give her a, like, medical glove before sticking it in someone's mouth now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a good touch.
It's a decent touch, yeah. So, the number 1 contenders match. We had Young Bucks, Alex Reynolds and John Silver, Butcher and Blade, and Private Party.
Yep.
And, I mean, there was a lot. This match was kind of overproduced. It was one of those, like, big tag matches that I hate. I feel like you can make this kind of match work with 3 teams, because it has, but with 4 teams it just becomes too much. And, I mean, in AEW tag matches as a whole are out there. But I legitimately couldn't follow who the legal man was at all the whole time. The Revival were complaining about what's the point of a no disqualification tag match? Why tag in?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Not the Revival, FTR. They were on commentary the whole time.
That's always been my thinking.
It really doesn't make sense. The Cesaro, I forget if it was a hot tag or if it was in a Fatal 4-Way match, but the spot where he just went crazy and was taking everyone out.
Yep.
John Silver did that off a hot tag.
Okay.
And it was pretty sick. He's a small Cesaro. He's got to be shorter than me. He is a ball of muscle, and he is amazing. He has to be shorter than me, because he's like noticeably shorter than everyone in the ring. And AEW is not this giant company.
Yeah.
Like, the Young Bucks are towering over him. I don't think Nick or Matt Jackson tower over me. But, yeah. He did that. There were all kinds of spots because it's the super spotty tag match. There was a bad concussion, I think. Either it was on I forget how they got him to the ground, but I think it was like a DDT or a Bulldog where they got Alex Silver on the ground and then they hit like a leg drop. It was a Hardy Boys combo because Matt Hardy's Private Party's manager now. Oh, cool. And he was clearly concussed. He was just laying there. Someone dragged his laying there body to the corner and tagged him out. And it was like when Mello was just laying on the ground in the middle of the basketball game. God. It was like reminding me of that.
Jesus.
And I mean, I didn't care for this match because you just knew the Young Bucks were gonna win it.
Yeah.
And this feud didn't need the belts. The Young Bucks are heels that were trying to get sympathy after the end of the match. It was. It's going to be a good match. I just don't care about the build. I don't care about the Young Bucks super kicking every member of production and complaining about not getting their way in this and that.
Yeah.
And, that was the last match of Dynamite. I think that was the end of the show. Oh, we didn't talk about Darby Allin's really strange vignette right after the dinner.
I did not catch that.
Steve-O was like, yo, I'm here with Darby Allin, and he's going to do some crazy shit. And Darby Allin put himself in a body bag and rolled down a half pipe.
Oh, yeah. I remember you explaining that.
It was just there. They announced some matches for Full Gear. We didn't even talk about that. We're getting Eddie Kingston versus Jon Moxley in an I Quit match, because Eddie Kingston's whole thing is that he never quit.
Yep.
We're getting Sammy Guevara versus Matt Hardy in an Elite Deletion match. What's the TNT title match? Is it just Darby versus Cody?
Let me check.
We got a TNT title match booked. We have 5 matches booked for Full Gear, which is November 7th. You know what else we have 5 matches booked for?
What?
Hell in a Cell, which is in
Oh, yeah.
2 or 3 hours.
2 hours?
Yeah. But yeah, that was Dynamite. We can move on to next.
NXT?
Yeah, next.
Oh my god, he really... Yo, what is he doing?
The Darby Allin's...
Yeah.
Yeah, he just rolled down the half pipe in a body bag and he got out and he was like, ow.
I'm sure that had to hurt a lot.
What's the point?
It's...
It's like he's on Jackass, but it's not his job.
Yeah.
Anywho, on to next. It opened with Kushida versus the Velveteen Dream versus Tommaso Ciampa, and I mean that was a super high impact fast match that had something going on the whole time. I saw a pretty funny gif. Kushida was pinning Ciampa, and the ref went 1, 2, and Ciampa kicked out, and Dream was laying on his back right next to them. And when the ref did 2 and was about to hit 3, he also did a motion like he was kicking out. I think that has to be muscle memory at this point. You just hear, you kick out. Kushida won this. He's becoming more aggressive, and that's a good thing.
Yep.
Ciampa's still around. He's not doing much. The Velveteen Dream is still good at wrestling. He's just another one of those out-of-the-ring issues that makes it hard to want to watch him.
It makes him hard to root for, yeah.
Yeah. Ember Moon had a match where she won with a submission, and then Dakota Kai came out and kicked her in the head.
Yep. She's back.
She's probably going to lose this feud with Ember Moon, but that's fine. Austin Theory quit NXT. He quit NXT.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
He lost to Bronson Reed and quit NXT, which honestly, if he just shows up on SmackDown and Gable shows up on NXT and there's no explanation other than that, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I forget who's, there's like a faction, El Legado de Fastmatano or something. I can't pronounce it. Wow. Yeesh. But anyways, there was it's Santos Escobar and a couple other guys. They're a faction. Santos Escobar is the Cruiserweight champion. They had a 3-on-3 tag match with I don't even remember who it was now. Is it not going to show? Isaiah Swerve Scott, Jake Atlas, and Ashante Adonis. And that match was really entertaining. They were all over the place. It was a Cruiserweight 6-man match. But the real star of wrestling, period, right now is Johnny Gargano.
Oh my goodness.
Is in his bag. So
this promo about wheels.
After this one, I think the one you're talking about was after NXT 2 weeks ago, where where it was announced that him and Candice are gonna have matches against Io Shirai and Damian Priest on this Wednesday's NXT Halloween Havoc, and they're backstage and the interviewer's talking to Candice and he's pacing and she goes, your match is going to be on a wheel, and Johnny comes over and he's like, wheels, I hate wheels, and he just starts ranting about how wheels are the worst. He goes, wheels, what are they good for? And Candice goes, our car has wheels. And he's like, I think our car could work just fine without wheels. And then this week they had a spot where they were just sitting at their dinner table. And and there's like a little tiny wheel with all the match stipulations on it. And he's like, you know how much I hate wheels. And she's like, we need to practice. The Garganos don't go into anything underprepared. And he's like, fine. And he spins the wheel. And it lands on Buried Alive match. And he's like, great. They're going to throw dirt on me. I'm going to be buried alive. tells Candace to spin the stupid wheel, and she does, and it lands on Trick or Street Fight. And she's like, "Oh, great, it's Trick or Street Fight. I've never lost a street fight. I'm gonna be champion." And he's like, "Great, you'll be champion. Meanwhile, I'll be 6 feet underground. I want another spin."
I can't.
And he spins it again. And go on Twitter right now and look at his Abby. He spins it again, and he's like, "Oh, coal miner glove match, coal miner glove match," and it lands on casket match. And he just makes the face that's his Twitter picture right now.
Oh my god!
And he goes, "Why does this wheel want me dead?" And he just gets up and starts pacing, and he like does this mini crane kick motion towards the wheel. And he's like, "I'm going to bed. Stupid wheel." He's been on fire. I mean, his character since turning heel has been phenomenal. But right now, he's just like, he's been hilarious. It's been legitimately funny. I told you, I think, before we went on, that it seems like wrestling has discovered SNL between the dinner, Johnny's character, and with SmackDown. And honestly, you could throw El Gran Gordino on that list of SNL type things.
I feel like, I mean, without crowds, it's been kind of weird, but it's low key been like a blessing in disguise because it's forced WWE and AEW and TNA to like reach in their bags and get more creative.
Yeah, I mean, it's done that, and also, so you haven't watched it. Ring of Honor has been doing their pure wrestling tournament where they have different rules set. You only get 1 closed fist punch, and you only get 3 rope breaks per match.
Jeez.
I mean, it's so you get more of a like best wrestler, and it's not gimmicky finishes and stuff. And the way they've been presenting it's been really cool. They've had like analytics. They've talked about how one dude, all of his submissions have been like countered into a different submission from the other person and stuff like that. So they've just had to like change up how their presentation was. It's just been a lot of creativity all across wrestling that I've liked.
Yeah, and it's like you said earlier, it's just they have more space to work with and more access to different stuff.
Impact feels like a sitcom at this point. It's amazing. I loved what Impact's done other than sell us on 2 of their most popular wrestlers having matches and then them not wrestling matches on Bound for Glory, but that's besides the point. Anyways, so throughout the show, the Undisputed Era was getting picked apart. Bobby Fish and so Adam Cole's not cleared to compete because he got attacked by I can't remember the guy's name. He broke his ankle last week and it really sucks. But Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong got attacked backstage, and Kyle O'Reilly and one of those two were going to have a match against Danny Burch and Oney Larkin for the tag titles. And
was it Ridge Holland?
Yeah, sorry. Ridge Holland. That's his name. Yeah, he broke his ankle. It was pretty bad. It really sucks because. Anyway, so we got Burch and Larkin versus. It was supposed to be the Undisputed Era versus Breezango, who were the tag champs.
Yep.
But the Undisputed Era got picked apart, and it's just Kyle O'Reilly, and Regal's like, you could take one of Burch or Larkin and have the match. And he's like, no, I'm going to the hospital to be with my boys, and give the match to Burch and Larkin. And they were like, okay. And by the way, Danny Burch looks like Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
That was an observation I made. But Danny Burch, it was those two versus Breezango, who I like. They're aggressive in the ring now. Especially Fandango. Good. He is wild. But
that's really good.
They had a match, and it was a good match, and a dude in a welder's mask comes out, and he helps Burch and Larkin win, and they won, and he takes off the welder's mask, and it's Pat McAfee.
Yep.
I think, what was the dude's name? Big guy? Oh, I'll memorize it eventually. What was his name? With the broken ankle?
Oh, Ridge Holland.
Ridge Holland. I think they were building towards McAfee, Larkin, Burke, and Holland versus the Undisputed Era in War Games, which that would have been a great match. Sick. I want to see another Pat McAfee match after his Adam Cole match.
He was really good in that match.
He was a lot better than I felt like he would have been, yeah.
Yeah.
But he came out and he did the Undisputed Era thing, and he said that Birch and Larkin are the tag champs, and that's undisputed. And they'll find some way to get the War Games match, or at least some kind of closure to that storyline. But I liked that. I like Danny Burke and Oney Larkin for a while because they're bald, and Oney Larkin puts up one finger and they fight people.
That's good.
I mean, Boston's basically the UK of America, and Danny Burch is from the UK, and Oney Larkin's from Boston, and they just make sense as brawlers. But yeah, that was the end of NXT. All we can move on to
Okay.
is Friday Night SmackDown.
Yep.
Friday Night SmackDown was cool.
Yep. They had
Show opened, and the only way WWE can open the show with the Kevin Owens show, so a promo. The guest this week was Daniel Bryan, and
Oh my God, Daniel Bryan had a line after the match.
Kevin Owens asked him what he wants to see on SmackDown, and Bryan said he wants to see the best young talent showcased on the show.
That is what SmackDown.
Kevin Owens.
That is
Yeah.
what SmackDown's tag division and mid card is for the most part.
That's what it was originally supposed to be built on.
It's what it still is being built on.
Yeah. And then Kevin Owens talked about how they should form a tag team and go after the tag titles.
They'll be Team Hell KO.
Yeah, he had this great punchline. He's like, I already got a team name figured out. We'll be Hell KO. Daniel Bryan was like, that means you'd have to be in a tag team with Kane.
I like Daniel Bryan's character as like sort of the elder statesman of SmackDown that he's had for a
Yeah.
while now.
But and then, so he was like, all right, we'll just figure out the team. We'll just figure out the name later. And then Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode came out and started talking trash to them, which shortly after the Street Profits came out. Then Shinsuke and Cesaro came out. And much like Raw, a huge brawl broke out. And coming back from a commercial break, we had an 8-man tag match.
Yay!
Which don't
The face
Don't
is
really have-
one.
go ahead.
The face is one.
Yeah, don't really have any notes on the match. Montez Ford won on his humongous frog splashes.
Oh my God, that has to hurt.
That man gets air.
He gets up there. It was entertaining. After the match, Montez Ford was doing the ring rope shaking thing, and Daniel Bryan came over and started shaking the ring ropes with him. Like, Daniel Bryan's out of touch, and it's super wholesome. Like, his heart's in the right place with that.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun to watch. I'm liking Daniel Bryan's spot on SmackDown. Even
Yep.
though he said this is probably his last full-time run.
Yeah, that was sad to hear. But
It was
I get
sad. I'm more at peace with that than I am Big Match John being gone.
Yeah, because I can understand Daniel.
See, I don't
But,
know WWE without John until now.
Yeah.
I'm still in denial about that. I just watched his workout with Sheamus. He was speaking Chinese, and I was like, oh, that man's gone.
Yeah, he's moved on to bigger and better things.
There's nothing bigger and better than WrestleMania John come back.
So afterwards, we had Bianca Belair versus Zelina Vega. Bianca came out in all SmackDown logoed attire. Looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
The match started. Bianca had backed Zelina into a corner, and Zelina slapped Bianca Belair, which pissed her off.
It was basically a squash.
Yeah, and then afterwards, it was all pretty much downhill. Zelina she hit a head scissors, got a few kicks off. That was about it.
I mean, having not watched anything Zelina Vega's done other than manage in WWE, she's a better wrestler than I thought.
Oh yeah, she got a decent amount of work in TNA. So I've always known she's been pretty decent. But yeah,
Yeah, she's not bad.
you can get a good match out of her if you put her with the right people.
Yeah.
And then Bianca won with the KOD, like you said. It's pretty much a squash match.
The EST of WWE.
Yep. And yeah,
She's ridiculous. She makes her own gear. She's
bro,
in the,
she
like,
is
shape she's in.
and
She
athletic as hell.
apparently edits her own like video package, the EST video packages that play.
Yep.
It's insane.
She is.
Her
Just-
and Montez are going to have like I don't even know. That child is gonna do something special.
That child is gonna be doing front flips out of the womb.
Oh my god.
But so yeah, after that we had Chad Gable versus Lars Sullivan.
I don't like
Who-
Lars Sullivan.
Is getting a major push for some reason.
Yay,
But
mid-card monster, because that goes over well.
yeah. Caleb Braxton interviewed Chad Gable before the match. Gable said he's fed up with not getting drafted, and called out Lars Sullivan to try to get back on track. And this was pretty much all the way a squash match. Then afterwards, they had it was an interview in the ring, right?
For Gable?
Yeah.
No, it was in the back doctor's office area.
Okay. So yeah. I forgot. Oh, so he was still Shorty G at this point. So after the match, Gable said he's rebranding from Shorty G to Chad Gable again, and he is quit SmackDown. So there's a lot of speculation that he's going back to NXT.
That'd be cool.
I'd enjoy that. He needs
Yes.
something new.
He can be the guy to, when Johnny Gargano wins the title because he doesn't lose on TV, immediately take it off of him on TakeOver because Johnny doesn't win on TakeOvers.
Yeah.
And then you get North American title, Gable putting on bangers.
So after that, Bailey had an in-ring promo where
You haven't
she-
mentioned Law and Otis once.
I forgot that was a gimmick.
Law and Otis was the
Oh my
gimmick.
god.
Law and
Wow.
Otis made this show.
Yeah. So they had a court ruling between
Miz and Otis.
Miz and Otis, because I don't remember what exactly the charge was.
Oh, he made an unsafe work environment, emotional distress, and he is
For-
a disgrace to the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah, emotional distress was because he got Mandy traded to Raw.
No, it's not towards Otis. It's Otis has made the Miz.
Oh,
emotionally
okay.
distressed. That's the
Yeah.
charges, yeah.
And then, Otis's rebuttal is that he caused him emotional distress by getting Mandy traded. That's what it was.
Yeah, and he said he's qualified to be Money in the Bank holder because he won the Money in the Bank match.
I mean, that's a pretty good argument.
And yeah, Miz and Morrison are over there giggling, and the lawyer chick is like, "That's a good argument," and Miz is like, "You're
Yeah.
fired." Oh my god, JBL was the
Oh yeah,
the
JBL was the judge.
and Farouk was the court, the guy who tells people to rise and stuff. And
Yeah, the
witnesses
police
to
officer. I don't
stand.
know what they call
I
him.
forget what he's
There's-
called. Miz and Morrison were over there making their argument. Otis had his. They had a bunch of witnesses. They had who was it? There was Tucker. I want to say Daniel Bryant was up there.
Yep.
And then they had Asuka, and she was yelling
Yeah.
in Japanese. And JBL goes, "Did you get any of that?" And Teddy Long pops up and goes, "I got all of it, playa." And Asuka starts celebrating.
This was just WWE was in their bag.
It was off the rails.
So
It was
out of control, but so hilarious.
I am loving that they're letting their wrestlers have personalities now. And
Yeah.
the end, JBL's like, "I'm gonna make a verdict. I think I'm gonna rule in favor of Otis." And Miz is like, "Wait, I got one last piece of evidence, and I suggest you take it. And JBL's like, fine. And Miz hands them a briefcase, and he opens it, and all you hear is the cash register sound. And JBL's face lights up, and he's like, I am reversing my ruling in favor of the Miz. You will have a match for the briefcase at Hell in a Cell.
Oh my goodness.
And now we're up to 5 Hell in a Cell matches on the card for Hell in a Cell.
Yep.
3 hours of wrestling.
Yeah.
I was down for when they only had 3 matches, and we were gonna get the
God.
Uso versus Roman match, Bailey versus Sasha, and Randy versus Drew getting an hour. I'd be down for an hour of all of those. Anyways,
so
SmackDown, we had Bailey in the ring cutting a promo, sitting in a chair.
Yeah, Bailey was saying that she was annoyed and it's ridiculous that she has to address why she won't sign the contract. Didn't take too many notes on this. Just continue to cut the promo, just on talking about Sasha. Then after a while, Sasha comes out, contract in hand, telling her to sign it.
Oh my god!
And
she was gonna kill
Bailey.
her.
Go ahead.
She was gonna kill her. I think that this is a very unsafe work environment.
Yeah.
And we should not be rewarding
She
Sasha
looked.
Banks
Yeah,
for
Sasha
this.
was pissed. She just kept yelling at her, "Sign it!"
She put her in a chair and was gonna kill her. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think Bailey
So-
should show up to the match. What are they gonna do? Counter out of a Hell in a Cell match?
Oh my goodness.
I think
So-
that these are unsafe work environments, and our champion, the greatest women's champion ever, should not have to deal with these conditions.
Jesus Christ. So Bailey has chair in hand, telling her she won't sign the contract. Bailey goes to swing at the chair at Sasha. Sasha ducks,
Picks up the title.
picks up the belt, and then, which absolutely shell shocks Bailey. And she's just like, "All right, just give me the title back. Let's chill out." And Bailey, Sasha eventually gets hold of the chair, puts the contract down, puts Bailey in the chair, does a camel clutch with Bailey in the chair, and puts the contract down next to her so she can sign it. Is just yelling at her to sign it. And so Bailey, unable to continue on with the pain, signs the contract. And then the segment ends with Sasha holding the contract, and she says, "I'm going to finish what you started."
So Bailey's character and promo reminds me of an episode of Community where one of the main characters, Jeff, I forget what it was, but he was prescribed some pill that made it so his ego wouldn't stay in check. And throughout the episode, he was getting compliments, and they would just zoom in on his eye, and there'd be an apple in his eye, and it would say ego on it, and it would grow until at the end of the episode, they were at what put him over was someone said he looked like Ryan Gosling, and they were doing a bunch of celebrity impersonations at this kid's bar mitzvah, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, you're the best, you're so hot." And then when it came to award time for the bar mitzvah, the kid won all of them. And dude ripped his shirt off, stormed the stage, and was screaming at this child at his bar mitzvah because he felt like he deserved the best 6th grade math student award.
Yep.
Yeah, that's that's what Bailey's character is reminding me of now.
That's
You
amazing.
can watch her ego grow, and it's phenomenal. But yeah, we're getting that match at Hell in a Cell now for real this time. I wish they just went into it without a contract being signed, and Sasha dragged her into the cell from backstage.
So after that, we had Murphy versus Seth.
You disciple me, Messiah.
Yeah.
How I didn't know Rey Mysterio had a daughter. I haven't been paying attention to SmackDown or Raw in a minute.
Yeah, that's the additional layer that they've added to this Seth versus Ray plot is that Seth, to get back at Ray, found out showed that Ray's daughter had been texting Murphy, and that they have a thing going on. So that's kind of spiraled it out to where Murphy's kind of like a tweener at this point, turning into a face.
I hate Murphy.
And you say you hate Murphy?
His name is stupid.
Oh yeah, I don't like. He should go back to Buddy Murphy.
Give him
but-
something more than just Murphy.
Yeah.
Ray and Dominic went up to Aaliyah and were like, "Hey, we're going home," and she was like, "I'm watching Murphy," and it was like that name sounds dumb.
Yeah.
Give him something. There are very few one-name wrestlers that have gotten over.
Yep. So Rollins ended up winning the match.
Is that what
like you
happens
said.
when you evolve from disciple to Messiah? You get a second name.
I guess. That's the stipulation.
Yeah. Second name on a pole match.
So throughout the match, Rollins is just continuing to call him the disciple. It was a pretty back and forth match. Rollins eventually wins with a stomp.
It was a good match, yeah.
Rollins goes and grabs a kendo stick, and he's about to beat up on Murphy, and Aaliyah runs into the ring, huddles over Murphy so he can't attack him.
I need a heel to just power through that sometime.
Yeah.
Seth isn't the character to do
they
it.
did
but
that.
I need
Oh my
someone
God.
to do that.
Who used to be Eddie Edwards' tag team partner? Oh my God.
Oh, I don't know.
They were a part of the Wolves. Hold on.
They did that and it was brutal.
Yeah, because Davey Richards. That's who it was.
Oh,
They were a tag team for a long time at TNA, and then they had this big feud payoff because Davey Richards teamed up with Angelina Love. That's who it was, and became heel. And they had this big segment one week where Davey Richards handcuffed Eddie Edwards, and Eddie Edwards' wife was with him, and then Angelina was with Davey. And Davey grabs a chair, and Eddie Edwards' wife just jumps on top of him. And then Angelina threw him off, and then handcuffed her to the ropes and watched watched her husband just get absolutely demolished.
Pete,
yeah.
you hungry for dinner?
No.
Pork chops and applesauce.
I'm
I
fine.
hate applesauce.
I'm fine.
Okay.
All right, continue.
But anyways, so
No, that wouldn't have mattered, yeah.
Aaliyah's on top of Murphy, protecting him. Then Dominic runs out trying to help Aaliyah. Rollins takes out Dominic, which causes Ray to come into the ring. And then they've been doing this a couple weeks now, to where Aaliyah's trying to help up Murphy, and Dominic and Ray are arguing she should have never been here. What's she doing here? I came out to protect her, yada yada. So that triangle is still going on.
I don't like how through the draft we just carried storylines over to the other brand.
Yeah, they just move storylines from one brand to the other.
Yay. I have some issues with the draft. We'll hold on to them for next year's draft edition.
Jeez. So yeah, and then the closing for SmackDown, Roman Reigns got to name his stipulation for the match. He announces that his match against Jey Uso will be an I Quit match. And then Jey Uso went to attack Roman from behind with a chair. Roman eventually got the upper hand. And then Jimmy Uso came out to help. And Roman told Jey that... Was it Roman? Yeah.
What did Roman do?
So Roman told Jey that if Roman wins on Sunday, that the Usos have to acknowledge him. That the Usos have to acknowledge Roman as the tribal chief and fall in line, or both of the Usos are out of the family.
Yeah, I remember that. That is a hell of a stipulation.
That is major implications.
Yeah.
But and then the cell lowered, and the SmackDown ended with Jey climbing up the cell and then staring at Roman.
Oh,
So
I'm excited for that match now too. The past couple of
Yeah.
weeks have helped build. They've
SmackDown
done a
was-
good job building Hell in
Go
a
ahead.
Cell.
Yeah, I was just about to say SmackDown. It was pretty good. SmackDown. It was a good go home show. They were continuing a lot of storylines, and I'm really excited for Sasha, Bailey, and Jey Uso and Roman. So it did its job. And then now finally, Battle for Glory.
Oh yeah. So, what do we open with? We open with the six. I want to say it was the six person title match. Rohit Raju. Yeah, 6-way intergender scramble for the Impact X Division title. Rohit Raju was the champion. Chris Bay, Jordan Grace, Willie Mack, Trey Miguel, TJP. There was a lot of athleticism in this match. There were some pretty cool spots. Rohit Raju, who looks like Dak Prescott, by the way.
Ooh.
Yeah, your boy didn't hurt his ankle. He just wanted to go defend his X Division title.
I'm done.
Anyways, Rohit Raju ended up winning off of, I forget what it was, but I think one of TJP or Trey Miguel hit the other with their finish, and then Rohit goes and kicks him in the head and rolls him out of the ring and pins off of the other finish. There were a lot of cool spots. TJP hit a inverted 619 at one point. There was a ton of athleticism between those two, Willie Mack and Chris Bay. They did the corner spot where there's three people and one person's in the trio woe and someone's doing a superplex and then another person comes over. They did that where Jordan Grace essentially did a sit-up and threw three other people into the middle of the ring.
Oh, nice.
It was a pretty good opening match. There was a lot going on. It was a 6-person match, but it was mostly them just letting 2 people or 3 people do something throughout the whole thing. There were
Gotcha.
a lot of dives, but it was fun to watch. It got me interested in the show. After that, we got the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, where Rhino came out first and Dubai Sean Davari came out second. He came out second. It was a 20-person battle royal. The first person eliminated was Crazy Steve. Brian Myers, who I believe was Kurt Hawkins in WWE, was cleaning house, getting a bunch of people out of there. Tennille Dashwood was in the match, and she was just taking pictures. She had Caleb with a K taking pictures of her.
Yep.
And he was over there posing with her. He picked her up and then tossed her onto Caleb. What other notable things happened? James Storm came back, and it was funny. I forget who it was. Someone got eliminated right as his music hits. They went over the top rope, and sorry about your damn luck. And it was pretty tough.
That's amazing.
So Tommy Dreamer came out, and I think the face paint was Animal of the Road Warriors, the one that just passed away. He was wearing a Road Warrior shirt with that face paint, and he came out, and then Hornswoggle came out, got eliminated. He ran back into the ring. Tommy Dreamer picked someone up on his shoulders, sat on the ground, and they did a mini Doomsday device. Anyways, so Heath, I'm 90% sure was supposed to win this match, but he hurt his knee or his leg. It was something, and it looks pretty bad. So they were just working around him. He was in the final 3. It was him, Rhino, and Sami Callihan. Sami Callihan throws him over the top rope and yells, "I don't give a damn about your kids." And then we got Rhino versus Sami Callihan, and Sami Callihan he hit something on Rhino, was pissed that it wasn't a 3 count, so he ran out to get a chair, and the ref was like, "Put that down," and he was like, "No," and the ref was like, "Get rid of that," and he's like, "You want it? Go get it," and he threw it to the corner, and the ref went and got it, and Rhino gored him and pinned him. So Rhino and Heath continue to have their jobs. Moose versus EC3 had this weird cult-like
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, this weird cult-like cinematic match where EC3 essentially just wanted Moose to beat the piss out of him and become the champion he's supposed to be.
That's good.
EC3 was bleeding a little bit, and Moose was wearing all white, and his blood was all over his all-white outfit, and it was
Jesus.
nasty looking. I haven't seen the Eddie Edwards versus Ken Shamrock match. I want to say, yeah, Ken Shamrock tapped Eddie Edwards.
Yep.
I didn't see the 4-way title match. I know that Alex Shelley was dumped on his head by a pile driver at the ramp, and it was just Chris Sabin fighting. So
Jesus.
I saw the build to this match during the show. The North were doing an interview, and Josh Alexander was talking about how he wants his titles back. And then Ethan Page does like one of those coked out 90s, let me tell you something, brother, promos about how for 94 days he's been miserable because they haven't had the tag titles. And I was like, yo, I'm here for this. After this, so I don't really know what happened. To my understanding, Deonna Purrazzo was... So now I'm hearing she was there in town, ready for the show, and just never showed up. But I've also heard that they knew since Friday that she wasn't going to show up and that she was hurt. But they were... Either way, they were running the vignette up until right before this match. Deonna Purrazzo versus Kylie Ray. And that those two are supposed to be what they build that division around. That's your Peyton versus your Brady, your Rock versus your Austin, your Dolph Ziggler versus your Zack Ryder. That's what you build your company around.
Oh my God,
and
dude.
like those two are Rock and Austin here. So but they kept playing the vignette. They played it like 4 or 5 times. However, Kylie Ray never came out. Deonna Purrazzo runs an open challenge, and Su Yung arrives.
Yep,
and
Susie is transformed back into
Susie, yeah, broken arm Susie is now Su Yung. And I mean, it was a good match. It just wasn't what we were sold, what we were expecting. The finish was kind of convoluted, where they went back and forth with trying to hit each other, and they'd run and end up stopping short of the ref. And then Deonna Purrazzo kicked the ref in the head, and he was out. And Kimberly brought the chair in the ring, and they were going to do the breaking arm spot with the chair again, but she jumped, missed, and then Su Yung hit the finish and pinned. So now Su Yung is the Knockouts champion. I don't necessarily know what you do. I've been trying to fantasy book in my mind how we can align Deonna Purrazzo with the Deaners. I'm building a faction out of the Deaners here. Cousin Jake and Cody Deaner. I think you get so you got your badass woman of the faction, Deaner Purrazzo. You bring in John Moxley, and you got Deaner Ambrose. He can repackage the wacky liner to the Deaner liner. And then here's the real one. You got the Doctor of Thugonomics, John Deaner.
Oh my God.
And then you got a faction, and the Deaners can run wild all over Impact. I don't know. I was thinking also the Knockouts. I almost called it the Impacts. The Knockouts tag titles are back.
Oh, sure.
I mean, I was thinking that Kylie Ray would honestly win this match because I just didn't see who you would have face Purrazzo next. My thinking was that the next feud would be Tennille Dashwood, and that's 2 self-centered heels going at each other. So I was just thinking that Kylie Ray versus Tennille Dashwood would work better. But we don't have to worry about that because Purrazzo is no longer the champion.
Yeah, not so young.
We'll see where that goes. Although I did see that she might need some time off. So that could be why.
Purrazzo?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. She just signed with Impact, which that has to be tough too. Because I'm thinking more likely than not she would have retained. And she re-signed a few weeks ago, and she was going into this match with Kylie Ray. And then last minute, plans change. Now she's not the champion anymore.
Yeah, that is tough.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, we got great match. The next match, by the way. Rich Swann versus Eric Young. So the build to this match was Eric Young was beating the hell out of Rich Swann before he injured him. And then they did a segment where they were at the doctor's office, like checking up on Rich Swann and how his physical therapy's been going. And Eric Young was dressed as the doctor, and he started beating the hell out of him there with like weights and stuff.
Jesus.
And he was like, there's no way he's going to compete, so I want Scott D'Amore to give me good news that I have Bound for Glory off. And Scott D'Amore came out and was like, Rich Swann has suffered substantial and additional injuries. However, he's built different. It's Rich Swann versus Eric Young in the main event. And the match, so this match opened up. It kind of felt like, when a quarterback has a shoulder injury and they just chuck it deep, like first drive to show everyone, yeah, I still got it.
Yep.
This match began with Eric Young diving at Rich Swann's like ankle and knee, trying to grab it and like mess with it. And Eric Young would like do a flip over him. And they did that 3 or 4 times before he got it, and it just felt like he was showing that, yeah, I'm good, I can still go. And Eric Young beat the hell out
That's
of him.
cool.
He beat the shit out of Rich Swann throughout the whole match. It was, he started focusing the knee, and then he realized that he did something to his neck and started focusing the neck. And Swann was just getting decimated, and he started his comeback slowly, and it just kept building, and he won that match, and it was a great moment.
That's good.
Whole locker room came out because the face coming back from an injury overcame the reign of terror of the heel who hurt him. I'd recommend watching this match if you haven't already.
I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah, I mean overall, Bound for Glory wasn't a bad show from what I've watched of it so far. I'll probably get around to watching the rest of it. My issue is you just had Kylie Rae. You knew she wasn't gonna be there. At some point, you had to have known, so you shouldn't have. Right before the match, ran the Kylie Rae, Deonna Purrazzo angle. It was just weird.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Oh, you got anything else to touch on?
Not really. I was just gonna say it's good to see that Eric Young and especially Rich Swann, are in big roles.
There's a lot of people
in wrestling.
They were doing the Impact locker room's in a weird place right now, because I don't think Impact's a destination necessarily. But
they're starting. They're starting to become it though.
They are, but I also don't really necessarily see anyone leaving.
Yeah,
Like,
they've
I'd be surprised.
definitely turned it around. Who did they merge? They merged with Lucha Underground, right? A couple of years ago.
I don't know. Lucha Underground doesn't exist anymore. Was it? I don't know.
They once new management took over and they stopped just trotting out the old washed up guys and started working with the indie companies, they really started to turn around.
They're getting somewhere. So in wrestling right now, if you're a guy, there's at least 2, maybe 3 pretty big paychecks you could get between WWE, AEW, and you can go to Japan.
Yeah.
And that's good for wrestling. Right now, there's really not that for women. If you aren't going to be over with WWE, there's not a huge check looking for you anywhere. Because AEW doesn't put on for their women's division.
Right.
Which is why Deonna Purrazzo is in Impact right now when she just re-upped her contract. Which that's so weird.
Yeah, I mean...
Because it's not the same... The money is not necessarily what it should be.
Right.
So... But the Impact locker room, it's they were talking about how they got an influx of a bunch of talent from the WWE releasing and how they felt like they were starting to put together something special. And I mean, I don't disagree. Of course, they pulled that Carney bullshit of not announcing that the card was changing. People very well could have bought this show to see Kylie Rae or Alex or
I'm sure
Alex
there was
Shelley.
a decent amount of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And neither of them competed. At least with
it's like
Alex
going to
Shelley,
watch
you got to hear you got to hear his theme song and see him take a couple steps out the ramp. So I'm not holding that one against them. That was part of a storyline.
Yeah, it's like when I went to go see the Mavs and 2 hours before the game, it's announced Luka and KP's out.
Yeah. No, but I mean, Impact's in a pretty good spot. I was surprised that Motor City Machine Guns won the titles at Slammiversary because I'm not sure which one it is, but one of them is like a physical therapist, and I don't think he wants to wrestle full time. Impact's also mostly pre-recorded, so he probably could do Impact while doing. Yeah. It's cool to see the Motor City Machine Guns back, and they've put on some good matches. Small bit of news. Ben Carter officially signed with WWE, NXT UK in particular.
Oh.
He's Seth Rollins' trainee, so Seth's probably going to look out for him, and also he gets paid as opposed to working for free.
Yeah,
Because
that's
like
good.
he had a visa to learn in America but not get paid. He did matches for free on Impact in AEW Dark, and
That's
is
good.
now officially
It'll
with
definitely
Seth. Will look
having
out
Seth
for
in
him,
his-
yeah.
yeah, having Seth in your corner will at least get you somewhere in the company.
And he's getting money now. He can get a visa and come to America and work
That's
for a
good.
different company at a later point in time. Dude's really young, and he's pretty good. I sent you a video of a match of his or something like that and asked.
Yeah, he sent me a little.
Because I feel
it was
like you
a
could
little
see that
highlight tape.
Seth trained him because he has that like super fast spot style that Seth does.
Yeah.
But that's about all I could think of for news. You got any kind of segments to end the show on?
Not yet.
Yeah, I
Not this week.
don't have anything. Oh,
That's kind of it.
you wanna? There's 5 matches for Hell in a Cell. You wanna quickly run through a prediction of that? No, not really, because it happens in an hour and a half.
Yeah. Well,
We'll just
once
do
we
a
get more
recap
consistent and
show.
we're like, I don't know what next month's pay per view is for WWE,
Oh, Dynamite or not Dynamite? AEW November 7th does Full Gear, but that's a Saturday.
but okay.
So
So we'll tackle it
it's
next week.
literally just WWE's pay-per-views that we'll have to main roster pay-per-views we'll have to figure out.
Yeah, we can just do like a separate
We
prediction
can
video
do
beforehand.
either that or we can do a
Uh,
Monday reaction to that.
Yep. Next is Survivor Series.
Ooh. Man, why would you put Retribution and the Hurt Business on the same brand then?
I don't know.
Why would you draft
'Cause that's-
Retribution?
You could yeah, let's draft. Let's draft the faction that's literally destroying our company.
My favorite tweet ever was Retribution 20 minutes ago tore the ring apart. And then it's a gif of Tony Nese pointing at his abs, and it says Tony Nese. That was when 205 was right after SmackDown. It was hilarious.
I just noticed. I mean, it's Wikipedia, so I don't know how much you want to take into it, but they don't have a venue listed for TLC, which is December 20th.
Who plays in the Amway Center?
The Magic.
Yeah, do the Magic play by then? Probably.
I don't know. I think the NBA's yes
Oh,
should be starting around there.
yeah, it'll be a little after that. I don't know. We'll see.
They might. Hopefully, they can find a way to get a crowd in there. Well, anyways, yeah, that should do it for first episode back.
Oh, yeah, we are back.
Should be back to a consistent weekly basis. And
Yes, I've made the executive decision. I'm no longer taking notes for Raw. I'll take notes for everything else.
okay, I can do notes for Raw.
Raw is draining.
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that was the No Cell Take a Bump podcast. I'm not sure which one's ours.
No Cell.
Oh, No Cell.
Formerly known as Take a Bump.
Yes. We conceptualized Take a Bump. The No Cell podcast. There it is.
Yep. Thank you to anyone for listening. Make sure once I can find the Twitter and everything else, I'll link it. So make sure y'all follow that.
Did you repurposed the Twitter to your cowboy?
yeah, I did. So I gotta refigure out the login.
You gotta rebrand again. Anyways, yeah, we're back. We'll talk about Halloween Havoc next week.
Oh yeah.
Johnny versus Wheels. Oh my god, I hope there's a big physical wheel and he gets a stipulation he doesn't like and he does a running drop kick to it.
Or what if he just? What if he's just like, all right. Now let's actually spin it.
I wouldn't mind if the match didn't happen because he concussed himself doing the drop kick. If it's a
So-
big metal wheel
Yeah.
and he runs, does a drop kick, it just goes thud, doesn't move, and he falls right on his It'd be so funny. Oh my god, he is the peak of wrestling.